get asked this all the time. Can you really make $1 million from just one property development? Yes, and today I'm going to show you how. I chased that million myself. At Little Fish, we've delivered townhouse projects with 7-figure profits, and I've seen others fall short from one bad decision. In this video, I'll reveal the blueprint for turning one project into $1 million payday. And make sure you stick around until the end, because I'll walk you through the 6 exact steps that will show you how to take a good site and turn it into a successful project. Here's the thing, most people think buying cheaper land in lesser suburbs is the way to make $1 million. That move is why so many never get close. All right, let's get into it. Before we get into the numbers, understand this only works with one very specific approach: turning one block into 2 high-end townhouses. That's called a dual occupancy in premium suburbs where people want to live, not just invest. Why not chase the bargain suburbs? Because the cost to build barely changes from area to area. Bricks, concrete, timber, trades, they all cost the same no matter what postcode. What does change is what buyers will pay when it's time to sell. In premium suburbs, prices are stronger and more buyers are ready to compete. That's what opens up that gap, that margin, when your build cost stays steady, but your sale price jumps higher. The bigger the gap, the bigger your profit. And that's where the $1 million can come from. So here's the takeaway. The profit isn't in finding the cheapest block. It's in selling for a premium in the right suburb. So what makes a townhouse in a premium suburb feel like the kind of home that families dream about? It comes down to who you're designing for. You're not building for investors who just want a townhouse to rent out. You're building for people who will live there. Families, downsizers, professionals, the buyers who pay the premium for the quality. That means every space must be practical and generous. 4 proper big bedrooms, big enough for queen-size beds and built-in robes. 3 bathrooms so the morning rush doesn't cause chaos. 2 living areas so kids and adults can have their own space. A study that fits a real desk and chair and feels like a home office, not just a space that looks good on the plan but can't be used properly. Secure parking spots for 2 cars and storage that doesn't feel like an afterthought. If the block allows, give buyers flexibility. A main bedroom on ground floor for older buyers who don't want stairs, and another upstairs for families who want separation but also potentially be close to young kids. And if the block suits, a pool can lift perceived value, but only if there's still enough backyard left for everyday living and enjoyment. That's how you build a townhouse that competes with larger homes in lesser suburbs and pulls those buyers into better suburbs instead. To go deeper on this with thousands of others learning property development, join our free online community, the Little Fish Networks. It takes 2 minutes and the link's in the description. Let's talk about the block, because the block either makes this easy or makes it impossible. You want the right street first. Tree-lined streets feel premium, and the best blocks are within walking distance of trains, shops, parks, and schools. The look and location of the street will sell a lifestyle before anyone even sees the floor plan. Orientation matters more than most people think. It's about which way your living spaces face. Sun in the living areas and the backyard makes the home feel bigger and warmer. If the living spaces are dark, buyers lose interest and the sale price will definitely suffer. Now, width beats depth. A wider block gives you stronger street presence, better balanced room proportions, and 2 homes that feel much more like standalone homes. That's the key. As a guide, 700 square metre block can work beautifully. That's about 350 square metres per home. In saying that, a bit more and a bit less can definitely still work, but you just need to dive in and do that due diligence. That size lets you compete with larger single homes in lesser suburbs and attract those buyers into your better area. You might be thinking, is that overcapitalising? which means adding things that won't increase the sale price when it comes time to sell. But in the right premium suburbs, building at this level isn't overcapitalizing. It's matching buyers' expectations and positioning the project to achieve higher resales. If you want help finding a site and running the whole process end to end, or both, that's what we do every day. That booking link is in the description below. Now that we've covered the right suburbs, designs, and sites, let's run some basic numbers to see how it works financially. 2 quality townhouses in a premium suburb, say they sell for about $2.5 million each. That's $5 million in total resales. I can assure you, in the right areas, these numbers are realistic. Your land, build, and other costs can total around $4 million. That even includes holding costs, interest, rates, and insurance, etc., plus marketing and sales fees. So every cost covered. $5 million in sales and $4 million in costs. That leaves about $1 million in profit before tax. Of course, the exact numbers change by site, by marketplace, but the principle stays the same. Like we touched on earlier, the build costs hardly move. So the profit comes from the higher sale prices in the premium suburbs. That's the only place the $1 million can come from. That's your margin. Now, how do you pick a block that works financially like that? Here's a quick step-by-step that you can use right now. Jump on Google Maps and shortlist the best streets in the best suburbs. Walk them at different times of the day. Listen for road noise. Check for power poles. Look at the neighbours and the street trees. If you wouldn't live there, your buyer won't either. Stand on the footpath. Check where the sun falls. Can your living rooms and backyards get that north sun without overshadowing your neighbour? If yes, keep going. Check the block's width. Will a pair of generous homes sit side by side without feeling squished? Does the block have the width for separate street-facing entrances? Garages that actually fit cars and backyards that feel usable. Check the council rules, like the front setbacks that the homes must comply with, even the side setbacks and the first floor setbacks. And the building envelope, how much of the block the council allows you to build on, the minimum backyard size that council requires, whether there are height restrictions, plus any special overlays like heritage, flood, vegetation. That can all change what you're allowed to build. Recent updates in many of these areas let you build larger homes than you could a few years ago. If the block ticks these boxes, let's move quickly to a concept plan, a simple to scale drawing that follows the rules, shows the bedrooms, bathrooms, living areas, parking and storage, and making sure it all fits comfortably. A great site only takes you halfway though. It's the combination of the site and the design that makes buyers pay top dollar. So, design it like a home a family would fight for. A big kitchen with a walk-in pantry, a laundry with enough space to actually use, a guest toilet that's easy for visitors to access, windows placed for natural light and privacy, not just street appeal. Use materials that feel premium without blowing the budget, such as stone bench tops, quality tapware, and timber floors. But always spend where buyers can see and touch, not on things that they'll never notice. We want to attract a buyer who was shopping for a bigger, maybe older house in a cheaper suburb and bring them into a better suburb to buy your new townhouse instead. To do that, you need to match what the bigger house is offering in these lesser suburbs and then sell to them the lifestyle and the location that they're not getting in that lesser location. So essentially giving them everything. Here's the part that most people miss. The one bad decision that can make this all fall apart. Don't squeeze the design just to shave costs. If you cut the living area, shrink the bedrooms, or skimp on storage and natural light, buyers will notice and the price will fall harder than whatever you saved. That's a big one. The saving looks smart on a spreadsheet, but it loses the fight when it comes time to sell. In premium suburbs, don't design for investors. They care more about rental returns. The real profit comes from people who want to live in this home. They pay for comfort, space, and lifestyle, and they purchase with emotion. That's where you get the money. So give buyers a home that's comfortable, spacious, and easy to live in. So how do you put this together in practice? Here's the step-by-step from finding the right site to the final sales. Step 1, find the sites and filter through them fast. Work your network of sales agents and check the on-market listings at the same time. When a site meets your criteria, walk it within 24 hours. Good sites don't hang around. You need to be in a position to act and make decisions quickly. Step 2, sketch a fast concept with someone who knows the local council laws. Put the plan on paper to see if it works. If it does, price it with a builder who actually works in the suburb. You're not looking for the cheapest quote, you're looking for the most accurate quote. Step 3, confirm the likely sale price with top local agents. Ask them what would make a family pay more for this home and what would make them walk away. That's an important one too. Design around those insights. That's gold. Now, step 4, if the numbers still work, secure the site and move quickly into the planning stage without delay. Time is the biggest killer for these projects, so keep it moving. Now, step 5, build with discipline. Lock in your design decisions early and avoid constant changes. Visit the site regularly and solve issues early. And make sure your builder prioritizes quality over speed. Step 6, work with your sales agent to market the homes like beautiful custom builds. Use photography at the right time of day, advertising that sells lifestyle and function, and host open homes with the agent who cares about your end goal, not just somebody who unlocks the front door and takes names and numbers. Remember, buyers often purchase with emotion. Help them feel it with your product. Put all that together, and here's the bigger picture to keep in mind. You don't make $1 million by buying and developing in cheaper suburbs. It comes from building high-end homes in premium suburbs where the sale prices end up far higher than the build costs. Pick the right street and site orientation, choose width and depth, design for real families, not spreadsheets. Match what a bigger house in a cheaper suburb offers, then beat it on lifestyle and location. Do that with a dual occupancy in the right area, and the numbers can add up to a 7-figure profit on a single project. If you want help finding the perfect site and running the whole process end to end, that's what we do every day. There's a link below to book a call with me. Or if you prefer to do it yourself with support, that's exactly why we built the Little Fish Network. It's a free community with thousands of like-minded developers full of templates, checklists, and walkthrough. It's free forever, and the link's in the description below. Smash the like button so more people are going to see it, and subscribe for the next breakdown. Appreciate you guys hanging around this far. Love your work. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you at the top.